In a world where traditional investments like stocks and real estate dominate the conversation, an alternative investment market has quietly emerged, captivating the hearts of enthusiasts, collectors, and investors alike. A market where nostalgia meets opportunity, where passion converges with potential. This is the world of trading cards.
The Mona Lisa became available tomorrow. There's a billionaire out there willing to lay down 10 figures for that item. It could literally be $5 billion. But if I said to you that a trading card had that kind of value, it kind of lifts your eyes.
I think of those items, and I think a lot of other collectors and now investors are thinking about those types of items as alternative avenues to park money and invest.
Trading cards have been a part of pop culture for over a century. From the very first baseball cards in the late 1800s to modern-day collectibles like Pokemon and sports memorabilia, these small, printed pieces of history have captured the imaginations of people around the world. But it hasn't been until recently they were really viewed as an alternate investment.
When I got into the toy business 25 years ago, the concept of an adult collector was like the guy that sold comic books in The Simpsons, or the 40-year-old version. That's who you thought about when you thought about the adult collector. That has changed so drastically. The largest consumer group, the intended recipient that spends the most money in the entire toy industry, is the adult collector today. They were probably the fourth or fifth biggest segment 25 years ago.
All I can do is point towards historical examples. And one that sticks out is our friend Rob Goff. He purchased famously a 1952 PSA 9 Mickey Mantle. PSA 9 is mint condition. He purchased that card for $5.2 million, and a couple of years later sold it privately for $12.6 million. Now that's obviously a shining example, but it goes to show how there are opportunities in this space and there are undervalued assets in this space, specifically in the high end. So when you think about Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth and Michael Jordan and LeBron James and Honus Wagner, there are a lot of items out there that are extremely desirable, extremely valuable, and honestly traded very similar to how, collectible or desirable pieces of art are traded today.
Today, the trading card industry has exploded in value, with some cards now fetching prices that rival those of fine art or luxury assets. In fact, trading cards have become one of the fastest growing alternative investment sectors, attracting both seasoned investors and newcomers alike. But why are trading cards so attractive as investments?
I think sports cards have always been a great alternative investment. The only difference between then and now is the fact that it hit mainstream, right? So just like stocks, just like real estate, over time, these cards appreciate based on a player's performance, right? It's a piece of history that people can take with them as time goes on.
Look, I think that when you look at collectibles in general, it's a tremendous way to diversify an asset base. So it used to be, if you talk to your parents about what you should invest in, it was real estate, stocks, bonds, it was other portfolio items that have been around for hundreds of years. And today, we like to represent our fandom. We like to represent the things that are important to us. And that includes collectability. So there's rarity and scarcity, and a lot of collectability has been achieved organically. These are things that may have been purchased in the 50s or 60s or 70s, representing your favorite sports team or maybe your favorite show, but got rare organically. Today, things are made to be collectible. There are collectibles today where you can buy things that have one of one or one of 10, and that represents a secondary market opportunity.
Yeah, it starts them out, right? It kind of just gets them in the game of collecting. So someone will buy them that action figure from that show that they loved when they were a kid, and then they'll go on the website and they'll see what the value of that item might be, and it might be, $50, $100 value if it's a chase item or a rare item. And then they start realizing that this is potentially an investment for them, but it also taps into the emotion for them of the shows that they love and the legacy of the things that they watched as a kid. Now they can actually create value from that by collecting cards and action figures.
There's an intrinsic value associated with these, not only because of their rarity, but because of their importance in history. So I start to think, or I think you can start to think about some of these trading cards like art, like pieces of art and pieces of history. And I think that's what we're starting to see folks that are looking at this space as an alternative asset opportunity. They're starting to think in the same way. So how much money can you make in the sports card and trading card space? It's a bit of a loaded question, but as with any investment, it's hard to really say what you can make.
Investing in trading cards is much like investing in fine wine or rare antiques. The key is knowledge and educating yourself, knowing which cards have potential, understanding the market trends, and being able to predict future demand is crucial.
It goes with anything. Referring back to stocks, real estate, you're not going to go out and make a large purchase without doing your research. With the growth of the internet and social media, there's a lot of people out there that's going to persuade you one way or the other for their own accord. Do your own research. You have to know, and you're going to slip up, but over time, you're going to end up finding your niche within a niche, which is the hobby. I learned from the bottom up. When you start something new, that's the best way to start. So when you look at my personal brand, when you look at my business, you're going to see somebody that has quite literally given it their all. I've given up everything to this point to get here, to now to be able to turn around and have that positive influence and speak in the hobby to help it grow and teach. I think education is what is missing in the hobby, and I'm here to spread that.
Well, the first things first, don't buy anything. That's what you have to learn. Until you put about 500 hours into studying a market, don't buy anything. Give it 20 weeks. Give it a half a year. Now, once you know how to buy in one market, you don't have to be a PhD in another market. I'm just telling you, you need to understand the principles of collecting before you go hog wild, or you will lose money. Just like anything else in life, become smart before you start putting your pocketbook out there. So for instance, with Pokemon, okay, I would say go study. Go study. Become really knowledgeable about something. For me, it was about vintage cards. Okay, I couldn't necessarily tell you everything that's going on in the current market for Pokemon cards, even though we're the global toy manufacturer. I couldn't tell you everything because I specialize. I specialize in vintage. Become a specialist in something.
Some of the most sought-after cards come from specific categories. In the world of sports, cards featuring legends like MJ, Babe Ruth, or LeBron can sell for millions of dollars. Meanwhile, in the world of trading card games, cards like Pokemon can have a dedicated following with some pretty sky-high prices.
So we know that there's a huge appetite for collecting the cards, and our goal here at the Pokemon Company International is to produce those cards, get them directly into the hands of fans so they can collect, play, and trade. We are aware that there's a huge interest in collecting. Our goal here at the Pokemon Company International is to produce the best cards possible for fans, and that it's always exciting to see the passion and excitement that those fans have by searching out cards from legacy all the way through to the new expansions, searching for those rare cards, those popular cards, to either enhance their gameplay or to collect and trade, and then engage in any way that they see fit with their friends.
So let's talk about Pokemon, for instance. So where I tended to collect and tend to collect today is in the pre-2000 Japanese manufactured cards. And I specialized in Charizard and Pikachu, two of the most popular characters. There were a bunch of manufacturers between 1996 and 1999. Cardus, Bandai, you had Topps that was in there for a while, you had the original TCG. Each one of these things, you can see the secondary market, you can look at the item, you can look at the grade, and you can track valuations. Again, the way I do it is I look at all the auction houses, I'll look at eBay sold items, I'll look and see what's happening on Whatnot and other live selling, even like Fanatics. And at the end of the day, you can truly track valuations. It's almost like looking at the stock market.
We really try to be a one-stop shop for everybody, but really skewed towards creating an entry-level experience for fans and new collectors and collectors of all different shapes and sizes.
Chris Costa is the co-founder and managing partner of Card Vault with 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady.
What is Card Vault? Well, as of a few weeks ago, we are now officially Card Vault by Tom Brady, which is super exciting. And Tom has come on as a partner in our business to help us not only operate, but to scale and grow.
Brady's investment into Card Vault highlights the growing mainstream demand for the space, not only in collecting, but in retail as well. The 7-time Super Bowl winner's own rookie card sold for a whopping $3.1 million back in 2021.
What we are at our core is a collectible store. Trading cards, sports cards, memorabilia, and everything in between. And our mission is to convert the fan into the collector. And that's something I think has not been done to date. And the way we're doing that is by putting our stores in key locations, venue adjacent, across the entire country, and internationally for that matter. So, Card Vault by Tom Brady's next to baseball parks and football stadiums and basketball and hockey arenas, and giving fans the opportunity to have sports cards really readily accessible to them, which I don't think has really happened to date, and that's a gap that we're trying to address in the market. And in doing so, we're not just creating an entry-level experience for new collectors, but then we're also able to service the collector as they grow and as they advance in their collecting journey. So everything from dollar cards and value packs and retail type SKUs all the way up to the most advanced collectibles that you can imagine. I've been a collector my entire life. I've been buying and selling and trading and going to trade shows as a dealer. And my partners and I, 4.5 years ago now, decided to set out on this mission to create the new era of trading card stores, the new era of collectible stores. We've seen everything from Babe Ruth rookies to Mickey Mantle rookies to Ty Cobb rookies and everything in between walk in our stores, which is, again, one of the coolest parts about owning a collectible shop.
Like any investment, trading cards have some risks. The market can be volatile, influenced by changing trends, economic shifts, or even shifts in popular culture. A card that once seemed like a gold mine can lose value just as quickly as it gained it. Remember Beanie Babies? Of course, it's also important to protect your assets.
Insure your stuff. I'm telling you, I'm breaking the fourth wall for you. Insure your stuff. Hear me personally. I've been there. Okay, let me tell you. So we were part of the Palisades fire, okay? So my house burned down, 99.9% of my stuff is gone. But they were insured for full value. So when you insure your world, we had our dwelling insured, we had our personal articles insured, we had our loss of use, which means that when we have to be away from the house, which would be for the next 5 years, that's insured. So they'll pay for my monthly expenses, my rent, my furniture, etc. And then I had a special rider for collectibles, because collectibles for me makes up about 5 to 8% of my total portfolio, okay, which is substantial. And I'm saying that not as a brag. I'm saying that because I want people to protect themselves. No matter what, if you've got $100,000 or $10,000 or $1 million or $10 million, invest in insurance for the things that matter to you. Play a little defense too. So cost of insurance for collectibles is about $3,500 per million, okay? So if you've got $50,000 worth of collectibles you want to insure, it may cost you $175. It's just, listen, I respect money, and collectors are really good about respecting each other and their collections. In fact, I've never met a collector that looks at somebody else and says, you're poor or broke just because you don't have high-end stuff. We just like each other. We like each other. We have similar ideology. We know that stuff can have secondary market. So for us, it's not about the amount. It's about making sure that you protect your stuff, and it's not expensive.
Breaking trading cards is an act of opening sealed packs to reveal rare or valuable cards, often shared on platforms like YouTube for the thrill of the reveal. Viewers love the excitement and suspense of wondering what card will come next, making it a highly engaging experience. It's a mix of nostalgia, community, and draws people in to share the journey and celebrate big finds together. We spoke to one of the most popular breakers, Candice Martino.
So a break is essentially a group lottery. We mentioned earlier that it is separate from a lottery in general because it does operate under different rules and regulations. Think of it this way. Product is very expensive. We like to refer to product as sealed wax in the hobby. It's just slang. It often can run very deep into somebody's pocket that they can't afford. So this is a great entry level for someone to buy in and be able to start an alternative asset collection. So what you can do with a break is there's a couple different formats. You have pick your team, or you have random. and also you can have auctions. So you'll go in and you'll purchase a spot in the break, and this is where a live host comes into play, AKA also known as a breaker. They will open these packs live on camera, and if you purchase that spot, you're gonna receive those cards that you see live on camera.
Buying into a break allows collectors the opportunity to buy into more expensive card sets without having to spend the full price, or for those where stores might not be readily accessible.
So the most important part with breaking is, first and foremost, transparency. Having good lighting, a stable camera, everything in the shot so you leave no questions to any of your clients or customers or online viewers. It's really important for breakers when they're opening cards out of the pack to be so careful. It's easy to nip the corners, scratch a card, damage them, which again could diminish the value right off the back. So there's actually a little seal on the back that helps you open the pack so nice and smooth. So you'll see that here, like butter. You'll turn it this way. Keep your hands on the side of the cards at all times. Again, you don't want to hit the corner with the cusp of your hand. You'll flip the cards around, and this is how you get started. Now, each product has different inserts, and what I mean by that is you might find a card that's thicker or a card that's thinner. So it's always cool to kind of show and tease to your audience what you have. So right here, we know that these are all pretty standard cards. The important part here is, as I mentioned, transparency, is you're gonna wanna fan the cards. And what I really mean by that is you wanna show each card one by one at a steady, consistent pace so you don't leave any questions up to your audience. There's an entry point for every collector out there. Now, every break is gonna depend on the quality of the card, the supply and demand, how much they're producing, what are they numbered out of, what you're chasing. Is it a one-of-one patch? Is it not? So a low entry point we could see maybe from $15 to $50, where a high-end product is going to be anywhere from $800, $900 to thousands of dollars. So there's a whole spectrum of entry points with breaks. Still know that when you do buy into these breaks or you do invest, there still is a chance that you might not see a return that you're looking for.
But beyond the potential financial returns, trading cards also foster a strong sense of community. From trade shows to online groups, collectors come together to share their knowledge, their passion, and their enthusiasm for the hobby. Candice Martino is one of the most followed trading card experts in the field.
These manufacturers, for example, Topps will insert in. So we saw with the Paul Skeens that they took his debut one-of-one patch, and that's something that we've seen a lot more of, that they're taking a piece of history. That's the coolest part. They're connecting the sports fan, the history side of things, and putting in cards. So when they take that off their jersey or a bat or a base or something historic and they put it in the card, that's a chase, because that value goes up to an insane amount of money. That could be life-changing money for anybody. That's what makes it so special. The thing about online breaking or online collecting in general, it offers something that traditional collecting never could. It's a community across the world that people come in together. They all share a sense of the same passion, right, for collecting, whether it's sports, cinema, Pokemon. It's real time. It's a community that the traditional method of collecting can't always offer.
We have our Play Pokemon program, and we encourage trainers of all ages, kids in particular, to go to their local hobby shops, and they can do league play, again, Play Pokemon, and they get amass championship points, and as they amass championship points, they can move on to bigger and bigger competitions, such as the North American International Championships, which will take place in New Orleans this early summer. And then if they're really, really good and they're the best of the best trainers, they can make it all the way to our World Championships, which travels the world every year to different locations. This year will take place in Anaheim, California. And the cards in particular that they're looking for, so for collectors it may be one thing, for players it may be another. They're looking for powerful cards, but it's not just which cards are powerful, but how are they as a trainer knowing how to play the game in a great competition.
Adulting, it's the latest trend that we're seeing in the toy business. In the first quarter of 2024, it was the first time ever that the adult demographic, 18 through 25, was the largest buying group of all buying groups, even kids, in the fourth quarter of 2024.
As the world evolves, so too does the trading card market. With the rise of digital platforms, NFTs, and virtual trading cards, a new era of investment has begun. While physical cards remain the cornerstone of the market, the digital revolution offers new ways for collectors and investors to interact with and invest in their favorite assets.
We also have a variety of digital expressions of the trading card game. So we have Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, which is the competitive play with the rules of the cards are authentic in that game. And then we recently launched last fall Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, which is a bite-sized casual play version. And that's proven exceptionally popular amongst fans new and old. So we have digital expressions, we have the physical TCG, which you can buy at retail, and we have product ranges that start all the way from low price points of booster packs all the way up to elite trainer boxes.
Your parents were right. You should invest in real estate and stocks. You should invest in bonds. You should invest in the things that allow you to have a diversified portfolio. One of those things today is collectibles. The collectible market is ripe. And if you look at the ROI, the return on investment, in the collectible market over the last 25 years, those rates of returns rival any of these other categories. So as a collector, for me, no, I'm not looking to put 100% of my portfolio in anything. But will I put 5 to 10% of my portfolio into the collectible space? Absolutely, because I know the space well. Moreover, I can find opportunities faster than almost anyone else because I have tens of thousands of hours as a consumer and a manufacturer looking at things and just learning about things. You become a PhD in terms of the amount of time and effort that you put into this.
In this world of alternative investments, sometimes the most valuable thing isn't just the card, it's the story the card tells.